My name is Basira, and I'm 10 years old. I have a question. What was the Mayflower Compact?
Good afternoon. I'm Nell Billington. I think you mean by compact, you mean the agreement that was made out at Cape Cod, the combination we call it? Aye. Well, there was some talk. We didn't arrive where we intended. We had a patent for the mouth of Henry Hudson's River. And when we landed at Cape Cod, we attempted to make for the Hudson by going around the arm of it, but the winds were against us and we didn't know how long that was likely to continue. So we decided to stay where we were. So some, out of some discontents, threatened to abandon the whole venture and go their own way. And some of them were servants that had contracts with masters who had brought them here. And were that to have been allowed, I think, well, we certainly wouldn't have been able to make a go of it. We likely all would have been killed. These people agreed to something here. These men agreed to something when they come out here. And so it was cooler heads drew up a small combination contract, as it were, and all the men were made to agree to it, that we should remain joined in a civil body politic, as they called it. And so it had held to this day.
I'm Kathleen Curtin, and I'm a historian here at Plimoth Plantation. Mayflower Compact is a more recent term for an agreement that was signed by the men who were on board Mayflower. People tend to see it or tend to represent it as a first step in democracy, and democracy was not an ideal held by the English colonists. They didn't perceive people as being equal. Certainly all men weren't equal, and women weren't equal with men. Women didn't vote back then, and a lot of men didn't vote. So democracy was something that they really weren't in favor of. Later on, when people look at the Mayflower Compact, they want to see something that may or may not be there. What this agreement really did was to put down what was the start of a small rebellion. Since they hadn't arrived where they intended to go, some of the men thought, we're not bound by our original agreement, and they wanted to do something a little bit different. And the leaders of the on board Mayflower quickly put that down and had the men agree to work together in a combination. The women had roles back then. Women were important to their husbands, and I am sure there was many a woman who voiced an opinion about all sorts of things. But women didn't tend to sign contracts then unless they were a widow. A widowed woman who acquired her husband's wealth was very wise not to marry, is all I can say.